Oh, boys and girls, do I got a treat for you today. You know, I've been making some pretty heavy Chris content lately. Not necessarily heavy, but just going into the court shit and just talking more about how Chris fucked his mom and, yada yada yada. All the modern day Chris bullshit going on. And I made a video about a month ago called The Brightest Days of Christory, going into Chris and Liquid's first fight against each other. And I wanted to keep making those type of videos because it really brought a smile to my face watching that old fucking goated Chris content, the kind we all love to see. And today will be no different because I am going to watch and react, and this is probably going to be like a 10-part series because it's a long fucking call, but to my favorite thing in all of Christory, and that's the Kaceys Father Call. If you've never seen this and you're watching this video, I don't know why you're watching this video, because like if you're trying to learn about Chris, you should already know about this call. It's the greatest shit ever. Kacey, who sucks, starts to call out talking to Chris and eventually gives the phone over to her dad, who I believe is either Liquid Chris or it's Liquid Chris's twin brother. And I don't know much about that, but I've read speculation on that before. Nonetheless, let's get into the call.
Hey Chris, it's Kacey.
Hi, Kacey. How are you?
I'm cool. I'm over at my parents' house because they wanted to call
Okay.
because they saw some of your videos and I gave them the letter.
All right. Actually, I'm uploading a video now. I do 51 reps with 50-pound weights. Well, not really weights, but as much as they are.
You did 51 reps or 51 times? Because reps are different.
Lifted them up. 51 times, lift them up with each arm. 51 times per arm, so it's a total of 102.
So we aren't like, what, we're not even 40 seconds into this fucking call without Chris making an absolute ass out of himself. I don't know if this is that video where Chris is lifting fucking soda cans, like 10 packs or 12 fucking cans of Coke, the big box of them, and it looks like he's gonna like break his fucking wrist while he's doing it. I'm not sure if this is what he's referring to, but if you've never seen that video, go search it out. Chris trying to lift fucking soda cans. It looks like he's gonna snap his fucking wrist.
Well, was it hard?
Yeah, it was hard, but it was a show of strength anyway.
That's funny because I have to lift like 100 and more pounds for my job. But let me go ahead and get my dad for you because he wants to talk to you.
God, she sucks. Like every time I hear her voice, she just sucks. But you rarely hear me defend Chris. But like, there's so many of these easy little things where Chris could have just gone, wait a minute, what? But he's too fucking, it's Chris. He has autism. He doesn't realize it. But what fucking job would this girl have that would require her to carry like 150 to 100 pounds of shit? Like, I've worked at Amazon, and they made you carry some big fucking shit. Maybe that's just because I'm a bigger guy and they kind of relied on me for such, but yeah, it's just something she threw in there to try to undermine Chris. This bitch doesn't have a job where she's lifting shit. Like, shut up.
All right. By the way, what's his name? Okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. It's Matthew.
Oh, Matthew. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, just give me a minute.
Okay.
You might be saying, Smokey, why are you leaving all this dead air in the video? And honestly, it's just because I want people to know what this call is like in its most natural form, in case they've never seen this call before. I'm going to cut out like minor parts where there's like absolute silence, but especially for here, like I just want to keep it as is so you guys can get the big picture.
Hello, Chris. This is Matthew, Casey's father.
Hello, sir. Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good.
It's always been so funny to me that this is like clearly some probably like 22, 23-year-old dude just deepening his voice. And Chris just believes it, like, absolutely the whole way through. Every wild story Matthew tells him, you can tell that Chris fucking believes it.
So, looks like I have a couple questions for you. Well, maybe more than a
Wow.
couple. All right.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm happy to oblige with an honest answer.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, let's see, you got a job, son?
Not currently, but I am working towards getting a job. I have been filling applications left and right.
Just to keep tabs, it has been about 12 years since this call, and Chris has still never found a job. Unless you count, like, making license plates in jail a job, which I guess you could.
Really? What kinds of places? What kind of skills you got?
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm applying for, like, retail stores and such. Got an application in over at the new CVS in Ruckersville, and one over at Walmart, and I had one over at Target. I have worked before. I worked at Wendy's in the Ruckersville for a few months. Plus, also I worked as a sales representative for Cutco Cutlery.
In this part of the call, Chris gives us his job history as well as his idea of some future prospects of his, like possibly CVS. And honestly, you know, I wish Chris would have gotten that job at CVS. Probably would have been gone in like a couple months anyway, but still. Yeah, you know, I wish Chris got that job, but he sounds pretty impressive so far. I wonder what what old Daddy Matthew is gonna have to say to this.
Right, that's minimum wage stuff. Did you go to college or something?
Yeah, I went to college and I got a degree and a certificate in computer-aided drafting and design.
And you're working at Target. I mean, I know the economy's bad, but I mean, surely you've got to, you know, use that somehow, right? I mean, how old are you again?
I'm 27, sir.
You're almost 30. You're working at Target. You want to work at Target, I should say.
Yeah, well, not really sure what kind of jobs my degree and certificate would get me, but I mean, like, you know, if I did know, then I would strike up on the job.
You got a degree not knowing what kind of jobs you could get in that field, and you've had it for how long? When did you graduate?
I graduated in 2006.
2006. So you've had it for 3 years, and you have done nothing with it.
We are only about 4 minutes into the call, and you can already see that Matthew's patience is starting to wane with Chris, because, you know, Chris, I think it's a very important time to remember that Kacey, the girlfriend here, or the future prospected girlfriend that Chris wants, is a troll. Kacey's father, Matthew, is a troll. Chris thinks this is completely illegitimate. Now, when Matthew tells him, you got a degree, not knowing what type of jobs you can get in that field, I think that's one of the best lines of this whole call, because it really shows that Chris got that CAD degree for no goddamn reason other than to say he had a degree. Maybe Chris could have put that to use somehow, but I don't fucking know. Nowadays, he's sure as shit has no need for it. But Matthew is just calling out his shit, and you can tell, if you know Chris, there's one thing he does not like, and that is being criticized. And if you've always wanted to hear Chris be criticized for about 2 hours straight, this is it. But you can tell that Chris genuinely thinks he's already making a good impression, saying, yeah, I want to work at Target, yada, yada, yada. And for Matthew's credit for just being a fake dad on the internet, he is voicing some valid concerns here of, Chris, why are you doing nothing with this degree? And as you'll come to learn, he's the tough, loving parent that Chris probably needed his entire life. But let's move on.
You haven't had any jobs between then?
Yeah, I did volunteer. I have done volunteer work.
That doesn't pay, though. Well, but what kind? Humor me.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question.
What kind of volunteer work? Humor me.
All right. Well, yeah, I helped the children over at the as a assistant gym leader for the Pokemon Trade Card Game League a few years back.
In a conversation about Chris's future job prospects and the money he's going to bring in for this man's daughter, in Chris's mind, he thought it was a great time to bring up his time as a Pokemon gym leader at the game place, citing it as volunteer work. I think Matthew is going to understand completely that this is like a very valid form of work, and that most people probably got their starts being a Pokemon gym leader.
Pokemon? Wait,
Yeah,
that
teach them how to play and building decks from what scratch they had, and just making sure they kept in order. Don't get too crazy.
It's incredibly ironic that all the things Chris is saying he watched the kids to make sure they didn't do, I'm pretty sure the same things that Chris did that led up to his eventual kicking out of the game place, not acting too crazy and shit. Like, wasn't Chris yelling at little black kids when he'd lose at them in games? Like, fuck.
And how long ago was this?
I'm sorry, what was that?
How long ago was this? I mean, wasn't that Pokemon thing? Wasn't that like back in the 90s when that was really popular? I mean, I think my youngest daughter used to like that, but that was years ago.
It was the late 90s.
Late 90s.
Yeah, and that side's still going strong.
Well, you got a point there, Chris. I got Pokemon Brilliant Diamond on the screen of my TV as I'm recording this right now. I love Matthew's response of Pokemon. Like, this motherfucker probably has a binder of Pokemon cards wherever the fuck he's sitting when he recorded this. It's one of those things where, like I said, any normal person probably could have had an awesome rebuttal to that. Like, motherfucker, don't tell me you don't know what Pokemon is. But it's Chris, so like, but he is right about that fad still going strong today. So amen to that, Chris.
But yeah, I have been doing that since from 1998 till about 2008. So about 10 years I've been doing that.
You've been playing a children's card game for 10 years.
You've been playing a children. Matthew does know how to get some good burns on Chris. I wish Chris would have rebutted with not only making and playing them, I've made them too, and showed Matthew his wall of originals. Sadly, I hate to spoil it for you, he's not going to say that.
Yeah, but also it's like, it's a form of babysitting.
Babysitting. But doesn't babysitting usually, pay? I mean, and that doesn't really sound like you're, volunteering. When I think voluntary work, I think like, Red Cross, that kind of thing, actually going out and really helping people. Planting trees, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Planting trees. I love that part. Just because, like, you can tell the emphasis Matthew puts on these things, or whoever the fuck this guy was. Like, he did a very good job at posing as Casey's dad, I will say that.
Yeah, well, I have helped people out.
Leave a comment below and tell me if I'm wrong, but can anyone name any instance in Chris's life where he genuinely helped people other than the few times he'll complain about in this call? Like, Chris is one of the most unhelpful people ever. I can't think of one time he's done something for someone else other than maybe buying Megan shit back when they were friends. And I don't mean gifting gal pal stuff, because he was going to do that for pussy or blackmail like the fucking idea guys. Like, real times Chris has helped people out. Name me one. I would love to know.
I put the parents' mind, let them know that their children were in a safe environment, and I help ensure that the children were playing and were within the safe environment, and that nothing was to go wrong. And I was respected as an authoritative figure in that sense.
God, imagine if the patrons of that store knew what the fucking guy who was overseeing their children would eventually become. And Chris was probably already a creep then, It's come out in recent years that people who used to frequent the game place, like Mims and Lucas and all them, said that even then Chris wasn't, like, an actual leader. He was just the guy they let, like, do it while he was even being supervised himself because they couldn't trust Chris. But, you know, it's Chris's, like, recollection of things. It's going to be completely swayed in a different direction. So he saw himself as, like, legit Ash from the Pokemon games when he was more like fucking Slowpoke.
Right, but and are you still doing this? I mean, or what are you doing right now? I mean, what if you stopped? You know, why aren't you doing this anymore?
Yeah, it was kind of like you know, not too many of them were showing up, so it was like my choice on ending that, you know. So yeah, it was that was kind of a sad day for me, you know, to have to put that behind me, but you know, we gotta move on. But anyway.
Chris started this phone call saying that he promised to answer Matthew's questions with an honest answer. And even right there, you can hear the trembling in Chris's voice. You can sense that there's a look on his face of like, oh shit, I have to lie right now because I don't want to look bad in any sense. So Chris says, yeah, it was my choice to leave. Like, he literally says it verbatim. It was, you know, my choice, and it was a sad day, but we got to put it behind us. Not telling Matthew that they told him, yeah, you can't fucking do this anymore because you're yelling at the kids. Like, what is wrong with you? So, yeah, of course, you know, the classic Chris lie to try to make himself sound better. It's not shocking.
But anyway, aside from that, I've been searching and doing work for my yard work for my family and other sort of heavy lifting.
Right. Well, anyways, I'm done talking about Pokemon now. I got a couple more. Okay. So what kind of place you got? You got a place of your own? Where are you living at?
You can just feel the internal stress sigh going through Chris's body when Matthew asked that question, and you know, at least Chris tells the truth.
Yeah, I'm currently living in a 2-story house with my mother and my father.
Living with your parents, age 30. Got it.
Well...
Almost 30. Excuse me.
Almost 30. Yeah, well, I hope that doesn't strike you in a bad tune, but...
No, Chris, not at all. I can't imagine that the girl who you want to marry while you're talking to her father would be the slightest bit upset of you informing him that you live with your parents at the age of 27 and you're trying to take his daughter away from him and bring her to a more stable life at your parents' house.
Yeah, it's just like I just did not feel comfortable leaving the safety of my home for the while.
Why is that exactly?
It's like, you know, I just did not feel like, you know, I just had not felt like I was ready for a place of my own just yet.
You got to leave somehow. You got to leave at some point. I mean, I think, you know, most of my kids, you know, move out, you know, 18, 20. You know, I'm okay if they, you know, hang out while they're in college, but you know, after that, they gotta start looking for a place of their own. You know.
Yeah.
That little yeah that Chris just did is so, like, he does not know where he's at right now. He's just trying to think of anything he can say to get out of the situation and not look fucking bad because he's 27 still. At 27 at the time, he's like fucking 39 now, and he's living in jail. So I guess it's a downgrade. But it took him a long time to downgrade, so maybe he was doing things right, living at his parents. I don't fucking know. Let's move on with the call.
Yeah. But, you know, to each their own individual growth rate.
No, Chris. That statement applies to literally just you and you alone. To each at their own growth rate. Get the fuck out of here.
Right, but I just got to ask though. I mean, you're really serious about Kacey, are you not?
Yes, I am serious about Kacey.
Okay, so
and, you know, and with her help, I feel like I could get a good start on being able to, you know, shortly in the near future, move out of the house,
with her help,
and get a place of my own.
You need her help in order to support both of you.
It was more like, you know, some details I might not understand. I talk to my parents sometimes about that, but it's like it's like a whole bunch of details. Yeah.
Explain, please.
But anyway, yeah.
I don't know what these details are.
I just need to and I just feel like I would need external influence, somebody outside the house to help me feel more comfortable in moving out.
God, I don't know, that just cringes me out. Like, I could never imagine talking to, like, Mrs. Smokey's dad and being like, yeah, like, with your daughter's help, I think we can get our own place, Like, I just need an external force outside of the house to get me out of my own. I know Chris's fucking issues, but dear God, just imagine saying some shit like that to your significant other's parents. Like, Nonetheless, we're going to end it there today, ladies and gentlemen. We'll pick up a part 2 in one of the next couple days. I hope you all enjoyed this. Take care. Be safe. Thank you for the support.